What's up, guys? Let me know if you can actually hear me or not. I got my little lav mic going on, so I'm not sure if you guys can even hear me. Gonna go pick up some gear. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. Got about a 45-minute drive to go pick up some gear, so figured I'd hang out with you guys for a little bit, see what's going on since I haven't done a live stream in a little while. Just talking to myself. I guess while it's just me, I'll go over some plans for next week. One of the first things I plan on doing for next week is the Mesa mini rectifier demo. I'm gonna get that up. Probably gonna try to get that done on Monday and get it up on Thursday. After that, probably going to we'll get some Friedman demos up here soon. Yeah, I made it, Brian. I just 2 pieces of wood and screwed them together. That's all it was, man. I basically made it out of necessity of trying to display the boost that I had going, and I was tired of them flopping all around on the top of the head, so I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna build something. So I built it, spray painted it black, and put some Velcro on it, and yeah, now it's the boost board. It sits on top of every amp for every demo. Works pretty well. What's up, Scott? Taking a drive to pick up some gear, man. Well, do a trade. I've got a Mesa Stiletto 212 combo, and I'm gonna be trading that for a Marshall SC20, which is the little studio size JCM 800. So I'm actually pretty pumped about that, because then I will have a 2203X, which is the reissue 800, which sounds amazing. I'll have a 1977 JMP 2203, which sounds amazing. Last week I bought a 1986 2204, the horizontal input model. Super clean. I've never had a horizontal input JCM 800, so I have one of those, but I won't have it for a couple weeks until I go to band practice, because it's down in Altoona. My bandmate Sean picked it up for me. And then I'll have this, the little 20 watt, and the Hot Mod Evo that I just got. Yeah, that combo is extremely heavy, Mike. I actually have a Mesa Nomad combo. That's extremely heavy. But heavier than both of these Mesa combos is the PV6505 Plus combo that I have. That thing is just ungodly heavy. Like, I don't understand why anybody would ever want to haul that over hauling a separate head and 4x12 cabinet or 2x12 cabinet. Like, I'd much rather have 2 different pieces to carry than try to move that combo by itself, man. And I'm not usually somebody who bitches about the weight of things, so. Can you guys hear me all right, by the way? I'm using my lav mic and an iRig Pre to give it some phantom power, so I figured it might sound a little better than my phone mic while I was driving. JVM 410, awesome. One, they're cool. They cover a lot of different tones, but at the same time, they're extremely compressed and very overgained. And that's coming from a guy who likes 5150s. Man, there's just so much compression in those heads. Like, it makes the tone sound so small, in my opinion. I have a 410, I like it, but at the same time, yeah, it's so compressed and gained out that it kind of takes the life out of the amp, in my opinion. It almost sounds like a solid state amp, believe it or not. It's super tight though, super tight, has a decent punch to it. cuts pretty well, but overall it's definitely far from my favorite Marshall. I take a JCM 2000 DSL over the 410, but that's also got 2 really good channels on it. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I don't know why my phone keeps disconnecting. But, anybody else get any new gear this week? I didn't really. This was a slow week for me. I didn't really get anything all that cool. Last week I got JCM 900 Mark III Master Volume, which is cool. I've never had one of those before, so I was pretty pumped about that. I got a couple preamp pedals today, actually. I lied. I bought a couple of those the little micro preamps, just to try them out. I got the 015, which is the Brown sound. And then I also got a 005, which is the EVH, the 5153 preamp clone. So we'll see how those do. I'm gonna put them through my Duncan Power Stage and see if we can't make a little amp break out of that. Thanks, Metal Snake. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a tone nerd than I am a guitarist. I mean, I love to play guitar, don't get me wrong. I just suck at it. But I really enjoy exploring amps and tones and stuff like that. That's the whole reason I started the channel to begin with. So that stuff's just super enjoyable to me. I really like it. And it's really fun for me to make the videos and kind of describe what I'm hearing. And try to be as objective as possible. But sometimes it's hard. If I'm really not digging an amp, it makes it kind of tough. DSL 20 seems to be getting a lot of shouts. Yeah, man, that's one I'm actually actively looking for. So if you guys see a good deal on a DSL 20 used, let me know. I'd like to pick it up. Yeah, I've got better service now, Scott. Op amp fuzz. I've never messed with a lot of fuzz pedals, man, but that Gallagher drive that I did, the demo, I put the demo out yesterday, and that was a lot of fun to play that on like the kind of fuzzier, the orange preamp channel or whatever. I really enjoyed that. So kind of has me curious about more fuzzes. Walrus Audio actually sent me an Iron Horse V2 distortion pedal to demo. So I'm going to be getting to that next week, but that thing actually sounds really cool too. That's like kind of like their take on like a Rat distortion pedal, which again, not really something that I've ever used before. But yeah, they sent that to me to check out, and I plugged it in, and I actually was pretty pleasantly surprised by it. So it's got me kind of curious about, you know, different tones that I've never really gone after before. So the fuzz stuff is, I just don't really chase it, but I do enjoy it. Like I like some stoner rock, like Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats is really good. Night Creeper's really good. Shoot out of my, yeah, I mean, I can do a video where I talk about my Les Pauls, Brian, but there's no reason to do a shootout, really. They all have different pickups and different electronics in them. Like they've all been customized, so none of my Les Pauls are stock anymore. But it'd probably be a cool video just to like check out all my Les Pauls. If you guys are into that, I know I don't really, on my channel, I don't really talk about guitars all that much. I'm definitely like way more about the amps. So that's another question I put out on my FAQ today. I was like, if I did more guitar related stuff as a like guitar reviews, pickups and stuff like that, would you guys care? And a few people commented and said yeah, so maybe I'll start doing some more guitar stuff soon. My channel focus will always be amps because that's my passion is amps, but I have a ton of guitars and I'm always looking at guitars and stuff like that too. They're just a little harder to maintain when you don't play guitars for a while. You have to, you know, set them up all over again and then clean them up and check the frets, all that stuff. Like amp maintenance is easy. Usually if you don't play an amp for 6 months, you turn it on and it's ready to go. So dinner recipes under 30 minutes. Is that what you want to see my channel turn into, Scott? I'm on the carnivore diet, so I don't think you want to see my dinner recipes. It's basically just steak and burgers and nothing else. Steak, burgers, and salt. I don't think that would be that enjoyable. You guys tell me. I don't think that message was meant for this chat either. but I'm having fun with it. Fair to say. Yeah, for sure, Brian. I mean, if it's not stuff that I want to do, then there's no point in doing the channel for me. But at the same time, I want to do stuff that's helpful for the people who watch my channel. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a two-way street. I could make all the videos I want of what I care about, and if people don't resonate with that, then there's really no reason for me to do it. You know what I mean? If it's not helping anybody, it's not fun for me in the end. So it is what it is. Sven says, if you could design your 100% perfect, no compromises guitar amp, what features and voicing would it have? That's a really good question. Yeah, carnivore, man. I love it. I've been doing it for 7 months or something like that, and I cheat. I mean, I'll eat almonds. Sometimes I'll eat Greek yogurt and stuff like that when I need to change a pace. But for the most part, I would say every month I only really cheat maybe 2 times, and usually it's with like pizza because I love pizza. It's really hard for me to say no to that. But anyways, yeah, back off. My 100% perfect amp would be, whew, that's tough. It would definitely have the Splon quick rod channel in it. It would definitely have the 5150 Stealth blue channel in it. It would have to have a clean, because even though I don't play cleans, I still want the option to play cleans. I don't really know what my favorite clean tone is though, because I don't mess with them all that often. Honestly, I love the green channel on the DSL-50. I think the DSL-50 clean channel actually sounds surprisingly good. I have a couple amps that are also kind of well known for their clean channels, like the PRS MT15 and Archon. Those both are supposed to have really good clean channels, but I never mess with them, so I don't really know. People tell me the Splon clean channel is really good. Yeah, I don't know. Cleans I would have to explore a little bit more. But for me, I mean, it would probably be, you know, no compromises. It would probably be a 4-channel amp, kind of like the Rev's a 4-channel amp. And it would be like clean, and then EVH blue channel, because that doesn't get super gained out. And then Splon quick rod channel, and then probably something like a rectifier type channel. But for the rectifier type channel, it would have to be like tighter and less muddy. So kind of like the multi-watt, but maybe with a little bit more mids, but still have a really big low mid presence. It'd be something like that. So I would also want a built-in gate for sure, because the built-in gate on the Rev generator is awesome. It's incredible. It's foot switchable on their foot switch. It's programmable to each channel. So I mean, really good features there on the Rev generator Mark III for the gate. I would like to have something like that, but then again, I've got my Deadwell Duality, which has an amazing gate in it, and I don't plan on ever not using that pedal, so there's that. But yeah, again, no compromises. I would like to have probably the green channel of the Deadwell built in as a foot switchable tube screamer. Basically, just put the Deadwell in. Put the Deadwell circuit, make it foot switchable into the foot switch of the amp, and then we're good to go. Yeah, EVH blue channel, man, that's I love the EVH blue channel. It's one of my favorite tones. I used it on the Bushido Code record alongside my Splon without hesitation. Used it over top of Friedman, Diesel, Bogner, all the other stuff I had at my at my fingertips that I could have used. I used the EVH blue channel. It's just that good. I can do the 8100, man. I don't know if I'll put it against the tube head, but I'm gonna do a demo of it because Derek Verici has one, and he's gonna let me borrow it. Generator 120 looks amazing. How does it sound? Man, it's its own thing. The generator is its own thing. It does not sound like anything I've ever played before. It's very unique. It's really cool sounding, really clear, lots of string clarity, which I love. Really clear. It's the feel of it is weird. Like the low end is tight, but the rest of the amp kind of feels a little stiff. So the gain is also fairly saturated, but not really over the top at all either. So I mean, the generator's got its own thing going on. How would I blue channel on a 5153? I don't know. I really don't know. It would compare best to the purple channel, which is channel 3 on the Rev. And I would say the EVH blue channel is maybe not quite as tight without a boost. The blue channel on the Rev with the aggression on the red setting is really tight with no boost. So, do I ever boost the green channel? I have. I don't like it. It's fatter and darker sounding. And I don't like that. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think it's bad. I have a lot of friends who like that setting. And if I had to use it, I could easily get away with it and be happy with it. But when I switch back and forth between the red channel and the green channel when I have it dialed in for high gain stuff, I just always tend to prefer the red channel. So, but yeah, the green channel is, nobody ever really talks about the green channel on the 5150, but it's very usable. Speaking of that, the Bugera amp, the Bugera 6260 that I have, the crunch channel, which is the green channel on the 5150 essentially, in my opinion, sounds way better than the red channel because it's a lot more balanced, it's clearer, it sounds really good. So it's funny, Bugera, in my opinion, Bugera did the green channel better than Peavey did. My favorite boost or overdrive, it's hard to narrow it down to just one, but the Deadwell Duality has been my number one for a while. Yeah, Mike just got X. Man, they're out of this world for what you get for 225 bucks shipped. No tax. You get a 3-channel boost pedal with 2 different circuits in it that are stackable. It sounds amazing when they're stacked. And on top of that, you get this amazingly tight, accurate gate, which can be run in a 4-channel method. Oh, dude. It's such a good pedal, man. It's unrivaled in my opinion. I didn't get any candy with mine, Mike. I got hosed on that. The status on the t-shirts, I got to come up with a design. I actually reached out last week to a bunch of people to see if anybody would be interested in helping me out with the design, and I got a lot of responses. So I'm kind of trying to narrow it down right now and figure out what I want as a design. What I'm picturing is like a black and white negative of my amp wall with a bunch of different amps, and with something over top that says like, you know, something goofy like power chords only or stay belligerent, something like that. I don't know. It's not going to be a serious shirt. It's going to be kind of goofy. It's gonna have to do with my channel. Like you'll have to be a subscriber to my channel to understand what it says, but power chords only is kind of what I'm leaning towards, with like a huge amp wall with my Diesels and Friedmans and Splons and Bogners and all that stuff. I think it'd be pretty cool. But you guys tell me if that sounds dumb, that's fine. But as soon as I get the design nailed down, I'm literally probably just gonna print a run of 50 and see how they sell. If they sell well, I'll print more. If they don't sell so well, then I will not print anymore and probably sit on a couple shirts. But yeah, that's the status of that. I'd really like to do the merch thing. I think it'd be super cool to have shirts out there in the wild for my channel, you know, especially if you guys are into the idea. It's cool to me. So what's up, Big Mike? Rich Peepers was supposed to send me a dirty tree to try out, and then Tony, I think is his name, just disappeared on me. He stopped. He was reading my messages, but he just wouldn't respond to me anymore. So I don't know if I did something to piss him off or not, but yeah, he was like, hey man, I'll get you a pedal coming. Like, I think he was gonna have somebody send me one to demo, and then I checked in with him like 2 more times and he just never responded to my messages. So I don't know what happened there, but I'm not gonna beg people to try their stuff. I've got enough stuff to keep me busy as far as like YouTube content for a long time. So nothing personal, It just is. It is what it is. I want to work with people who want to work with me. So, you know, Rev sent me some stuff. Walrus Audio sent me that pedal. Gallagher Guitars sent me the Fission Drive. You know, Legendary Tone sent me the Hot Mod. Which, by the way, I'm extremely appreciative of anybody who's willing to send me stuff to demo on the YouTube channel. To me, it's still kind of crazy that people are willing to send me stuff this early on. So I'm really appreciative of that, of all the guys who have considered or who have sent me stuff. It still kind of blows my mind, makes me really happy, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the demos that I've done with that stuff. I can tell you that that pedal that I did for Gallagher yesterday really surprised me. If you guys didn't see that demo, go back and check it out. Like, it sounded really good through the clean channel, the Rev. I kind of want to stick it through the Duncan Power Stage and see how it sounds through that thing. But it's a really nice pedal for 200 bucks. Lots of versatility. Modern. It's definitely got like a modern mode that sounds very modern. Sounds like a modern mid-gain amp. It sounds really, really good. And then the vintage style is like an old orange type deal, and it sounds really cool for like the fuzzy kind of tones. I really, really liked it. Stay pissed on the shirt? Yeah, maybe. I would like to do something like that, but I also don't want to do a shirt that nobody's gonna buy either, and I don't know. Everybody's so easily offended these days that I don't know if people are buying shirts with swear words on them anymore. It'll be up on Sunday. My Rev video will be up on Sunday. It's actually going to be an absolute monster of a video to edit because it took me like 45 minutes to shoot the whole thing, to go over all the stuff on the amp. So it's gonna take me a while to edit Sunday morning, but I'll have it up probably Sunday sometime around 11 in the morning. I hope. We'll see. And then, so you're cool, man. I'm on my way to pick up a little JCM. I got some drive time left. I got about another 10 minutes to hang out. How many hours would I drive for a killer deal on a valued item like a Les Paul Custom, for example? Depends on how good the deal is. I value my time very highly, so kind of sounds like an asshole, but honestly, like, my free time is very, very little these days, especially now that I have the YouTube channel. I'm always busy with something, and when I'm not busy with something, I like to spend it with my girlfriend and with my dogs and hang out and just kind of unwind a little bit. Rush to get everything done. I gotta rush to get everything done for the channel sometimes, and it's, you know, when I don't have, the last 2 weeks, I haven't had enough time to stay up to date on content. So like, that's why I've only been doing like 2 or 3 videos a week, and I want to try to stay 4 or 5 videos a week. But you know, every now and then you got to slow down a little bit. Life takes over. It is what it is. But yeah, I just went off on a really long rant about kind of nothing related to your question. So yeah, it depends. Like, if it's like $300 or $400 under market value on like a Les Paul Custom, I would probably drive 3 or 4 hours round trip. When I was younger, when I was younger, I would have driven a lot further because it's something that I enjoyed doing. Now I enjoy doing it. It's kind of nice. I like the alone time, honestly. I'm just kind of a dude who likes to be on his own and have a little bit of time to think or talk to you guys, which is nice. But yeah, it all depends. It depends on how good the deal is, or if it's something that I'm having a really hard time finding, then I'll drive a little further. Like, if I'm having a really hard time finding, say I wanted to find a KSR, a used KSR, they don't come up that often. So if I found a really good deal on one I was looking for, I would probably drive like 4 hours round trip, 5 hours if it, you know, if I really, really wanted it. It all depends. You'll have your Sam Adams ready. You're a morning drinker. All right. I hope it doesn't disappoint, man. I had fun making the demo. So there's a lot of stuff to go over. Yeah, dude. I've been to Europe. All your cities are like 2 or 3 hours apart. I'm jealous of that. not even 2 or 3 hours apart sometimes. In America, it's a little further, but I actually live in the Northeast where cities are a lot closer together. So I'm within 2 hours of 3 major cities, and 2 of those major cities usually have decent gear posted. And if you can't find it there, if you're willing to go another hour, there's another city or 2 that are worth checking out. So I've got a decent amount of cities close to me, but in Erie, where I live, there is nothing. There is nothing in Erie. So all the cool gear that comes up in Erie is either stuff that me or my friends are selling, and that's it. Seriously. I never find really cool stuff locally. Sucks, but it is what it is. I've never tried a Vader 412 cab, man. Sorry. Never tried a Vader. Always wanted to. They were hot for a minute, but so were Bassan cabs, and Bassan cabs kind of suck. Vader cabs kind of seem like a similar deal, like huge, oversized cabs with really neutral speakers. Probably not going to be my thing. Northeast cities are so close. Yeah, exactly. If you're in the Northeast, especially over in the New York area, like on the coast, cities are real close. It's the traffic that you have to deal with that makes it suck. But the further west you get, kind of the more space things get out until you get to the West Coast, and then things are somewhat close together. Like I said, I'm in an area where things are pretty close, so I got lucky. Had a deal fall through on a house. That sucks, man. Having a deal fall through on a house is way worse than a guitar. But yeah, so it's not that bad over here. Like I said, I'm only going 45 minutes over to Ashtabula, Ohio to pick something up. And then I'll be driving right back home once I get it. We'll make a video demo of it and then send it on its way. It's probably not anything I'm going to keep, as much as I like to hoard gear. Yeah, it costs more. Yeah, and they're way more complicated to buy. I do not look forward to when we have to buy our next house. I'll tell you that right now, man. And it's probably going to be sooner than I'd like it to be. It'll probably be within the next couple of years, because our house right now, kind of small. If we have any kids, we're immediately going to have to move into a new house. So it's already small for 2 people with the amount of stuff that I like to hoard. So my computer room is full of gear now, on top of my basement, which is full of gear, on top of the unfinished portion of the basement, which is full of gear. So maybe the moral of the story is we don't need a bigger house. I just need to sell some gear. That's probably better. Downsizing the hoarding. Yeah, I try to do that every now and then. Good on you for being able to do it. It's always tough for me to do it. Right now, I also have a lot of stuff that I'm trying to sell too. Which I've had a lot of stuff go in the last couple of weeks, so I'm happy about that. To get a couple more, I'm trading a big combo for a small amp, so that clears up a little bit of space. I'd like to keep doing stuff like that, or like, you know, trading a few for a more expensive head or something like that. But you know, it is what it is. I also have an obnoxious amount of 4x12 cabs. I have something like 25 4x12 cabs, and 3 of them are in our practice spot. One of them's in my practice spot in Altoona. So I have like 20, still over 20 in my house. It's insane. It's absolutely insane when you think about it. But, you know, sometimes when you're not hurting for money and you get good deals on stuff, you tend to find room for it. Dude, I could occupy more than a living room. The entire reason that I started the YouTube channel is because I have so many amps. Yeah, Rich. Yeah, that's funny. I feel like she understands though, especially with you being a pickup winder, man. You gotta have different amps to try your stuff through. That would be my excuse, right? Luckily, my girlfriend is pretty cool about it. She's actually way cooler than I give her credit for sometimes. I have just an obnoxious amount of shit, and she doesn't mind as long as it doesn't spill over into her areas of the house, which it kind of spills over into her areas of the house right now. So that's why I either gotta find some space for it or yeah, find some space for it or sell some stuff. And I really don't need a Line 6 V30 cab when I have multiple Mesas and a Friedman and Bogners and diesel cabs and Engel cabs that all have V30s. But when you get a cab like that for $100, it's kind of hard to sell it. It's pretty easy to justify keeping. I just got a Marshall 1960A slant cab for $100. Kind of hard to justify selling. I'd rather just hang on to it, but then again, I make a ton of money off flipping gear all the time, so it's like, man, keep moving stuff. I have the hardest time parting with cabs. I don't know why. I can part with amps, I can part with guitars, but cabs, really tough for me to talk myself out of. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. They're the biggest. They take the most space. They're the hardest to move around, but yet I find myself more attached to cabs than anything else. I don't know. Yeah, nothing like that quite yet, but my little YouTube studio area that you guys see all my videos in, that's actually our finished basement, which we kind of turned into a little like living room area. And my girlfriend never uses it, so I'm like, oh, she'll be okay with me taking over, right? Yeah, she wasn't super happy about it, but I gotta try to figure out where I can move my YouTube studio at that won't look terrible, because the only other space I have for it is my the unfinished portion of the basement, and it just looks like crap in there. And I don't want my videos to look like I'm sitting in a dungeon. Warm chord music. Hey man, I'm picking up a Marshall JCM 800 Studio Classic 20, the SC20. It's the little JCM 800 they came out with a couple years ago. M. Williams. I'm not sure who or what M is, but I find myself gravitating more towards the Mesa cab, just because it's what I'm used to. I've been using the traditional for most of my videos that you guys have seen. I brought it back out after switching it up a little bit. I was using my Bogner V30 cab for a while, and then I was using the Engel for a little bit. I use the Mesas the most, just because those are what everybody's the most familiar with. My favorite cab really is my Marshall Mode 4 cab, but that has K100s in it, and K100s don't track very well for recordings. They sound amazing in the room though. So I use that one more live than anything. And then I got a Friedman cab about 2 years ago, and that's kind of just my favorite overall cab. That cab sounds incredible. I actually used it to on Dying Virtues. I had one mic on the V30 and one mic on the greenback, and it sounded amazing. So yeah, I thought about doing something like that, Carlos. I've got a wall of cabs behind me, but the ceilings are kind of low, so you can still see the rafters in the shot, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm into it. I could probably make it look cool, but at the same time, I don't know. It's tough. I just don't like the idea of it, because it's cold in there a lot of the time in the winter. Sometimes it gets a little damp in there too. I just don't want to leave. Not only do I have tons of guitar equipment, but the cameras that I have are actually pretty expensive too. So don't really want to leave stuff in there. My Engel cab is actually not an XXL. It's a 412 vintage, which the only reason they call it vintage, I gotta imagine, is because it has vintage 30s in it, because it's a front-loaded cab with a metal grate. There's nothing vintage about it. I actually got that cab for free. I bought a Engel retro tube amp head for $1,200 with the cab and a big foot switch. And I ended up trading the retro tube for a Victory Kraken and $500. And then I sold the Victory Kraken for $900. So I had $1,200 into this half stack, and I sold it for $14. So I got $200 in a free cab. Can't beat that, right? The Mesa Traditional that I use in my videos, also got for free. Again, bought it as part of a package deal. I bought a multi-watt dual rectifier, wheeled road case with a rack space, a bunch of pedals and the cab for 1,500 bucks locally. That was one of the only good deals I've ever gotten locally. So ended up selling the head, selling the cab, or selling the head, selling the road case, and selling the 2 of the pedals that came with it. And I ended up coming out with like 100 bucks on top of the free cab there. Digging the Badlander, awesome. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think the Grid Slammer works really well on the Badlander. It's not my favorite drive on a lot of amps. I actually don't really like it on a lot of amps because it doesn't tighten the low end enough, but the Badlander is so tight on the low end that you can add a little sag with that pedal and it sounds really good. The Aeros I have not tried. I really haven't tried it much. I bought it off Kyle when I was there a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago almost already, and I really haven't gotten a chance to like dial it in. So need to spend some more time with that pedal, but for the amount of features that are built into that thing, I feel like it's probably really versatile and can be really cool. So I just got to figure out how to dial it in. Let me know your thoughts on it, man. I'd be really curious to hear how it works for you. All right, guys, I am actually where I'm going to be meeting this guy at. So if you guys give me a few minutes, I am going to meet this dude, and then I'll be right back.